Here from community boards, and first up is Callum from Spraden Cashmere Heathcote, who is very keen to talk to us. Thank you.
Well, I think we had a bit of a shuffle around with the agenda, so sorry about that. Thanks for accommodating me coming up early. Just really keen to talk to you all. Great. Okay.
I didn't tell you I changed that, did I? Here's a surprise. Far away.
Oh, sorry. Don't know what's happened there. Can I get that on presenter view? Is that all right? Cool. Okay. All right. I'll get started. Apologies from my deputy chair who's unable to make today. So you're just going to talk through the decisions that have come to our board over the last few months. So we've approved a number of DRFs from the following groups. Avon Sequence Dancers, Kiraroo Sports and Cultural Club, Cashmere Bowling Club, John Marsh Heathcote Valley Food Forest and Birdsea Reserve, the Henson Park Play Space, which is an exciting project, and Heathcote Community Garden. How do I? There we go. We've had a number of groups come to us to speak about their natural environment. We've had the Simian Park Community Group come to give us an update about the work they're doing at Simian Park. So that's I think a shining example of a group that's taken ownership not ownership, but taking responsibility for a public space and driving greening and planting and weeding of that space. They have participated in the Wildflower project, so it's really transformed a small local park into an exciting place. They're looking for a tap to be installed to help them water the trees that are growing there. We're hopeful that that's an outcome that we can easily achieve. We've also had groups come to speak to us about the Coastal Access Group, and we're expecting some information back from staff about some sort of technical legal issues there, which the board's looking for some more information about. Cool. Better Off funding. We've given Better Off funding to a number of groups. I don't have my list in front of me, sorry. But the one of the groups we've given funding to is the Otakaro Heathcote. That's wrong. Ōpawaho Heathcote River Network. So the Ōpawaho Heathcote River Network has a project for pest control for plant pests in the river, and we've given a huge amount of money to them to support with that project, which should go a long way. We've also given money to a basketball court to be built in Cornelius O'Connor Reserve next to Manukau Cottage. So that was a project that we're really proud to fund. It started out with a group of kids from a independent youth group that's based out of Manukau Cottage coming to the community board to ask for a hoop. So it was a really truly grassroots project, and we've really appreciated the support we've had from Parks around delivering that outcome. I understand the timeline for building that hoop is it's going to be ready very soon. We're expecting it to be built this year. So that youth group as well did an awesome job of consulting with the local community, and it was really an exemplar of how community development should be done. Really proud to fund the Cornelius O'Connor basketball hoop. And I guess most significantly for our board in the last month, we talked to you in our last update to the council about the meeting to approve this decision, but in the meantime the actual change has taken place, the renaming of Maryland's Park and Maryland's Place to Validation Park and Validation Place. So this was a really special ceremony. Unfortunately, I have to give you the information secondhand because I was unable to attend due to illness. But it was, I understand, a really special time for the group of survivors and the council staff and the Royal Commission staff and the community board as well. Everyone who had kind of been part of that journey alongside the survivors to to redress a small part of the historic injustice of what happened at Maryland's. So the new name is Validation, and Validation reflects the experience that the survivors have had going through the Royal Commission of Inquiry process, an experience of being heard by people in authority throughout their lives. A lot of these fellows really didn't experience being believed or trusted or taken seriously by people in authority. And so the Royal Commission and then their subsequent experience with council staff and the community board they've said has been a very validating experience. So that's why they chose the name Validation, and we think it's a fantastic addition to the history of the place. It tells a really positive story. And yeah, so by all accounts, it was a wonderful event. So yeah, that's all the updates I have today. Any questions?
Thank you very much. No, spot on time. And I must say, I was at the, along with a couple of other councillors at the validation part, absolutely stunning. And you hit the nail right on the head with how those people got affected, and you feel so much for them. And I'm so glad that the council have managed to achieve what we've done. So, changing road names is not easy in anyone's language, but it's all been done and it's very well thought of. So thank you very much for pushing that.
Thanks.
Good. Okay, so we've got Marie Ann Bailey. Just Marie Ann Bailey. Yes, please. Thank you.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Good morning, everyone. I have with me Bailey, our acting governance manager, this morning. So thank you for this opportunity to present the monthly report of the Waipuna Halswell Hornby Rickerton Community Board. Decisions made under delegation. If we can go to the next slide. Yep. So the board approved 12 planting plans within the board area, which I believe equates to a total of about 520 trees. We also had the board approve the Epsom Road, Middle Park Road intersection for proposed no stopping restrictions. And then we also approved the building of a new maintenance depot and staff facility at the council-owned property located at 141 Wigram Road. This will be subject to obtaining a resource consent, of course. The Youth Development Fund transfer and discretionary response fund applications were granted to the Citizens Advice Bureau towards the CAB West Hornby Secure Access Project and to the Emmanuel Christian School towards necessary team equipment for its combined school netball team. Now, a progress report was also given by staff on the community board plan priorities. We are on track with all our board plan priorities. The next update we're expecting to be on December 2024. Community Service and Youth Service Awards 2024. The board confers Community Service Awards on and presents certificates of appreciation to the a number of individuals. So for the Youth Service Awards, we have 6 individuals. For the Community Service Awards, 10, and certificates of appreciation 2. Now this year we are having a trial for the awards to be presented at the recipient's place of service, volunteering to recognize their service in the space where they work and in front of fellow volunteers, families, and colleagues with community members, hopefully in attendance. So we also had the Badminton Canterbury Incorporated towards 7 students participating at the New Zealand Junior Team Badminton Championships 2024 in Palmerston North, the off-the-ground fund allocation for Peter Simmons towards the We Heart Harrington Park Mulching and Barbecue social event. Now, there were a few youth initiatives last month. The first image there is the Huratini Student Council with representatives from 4 schools, namely Wigram Primary, Halswell, Aidenfield, and Oaklands. They met and decided to prioritize food security for its focus in 2024. The second image there is Gear Up Ototahi, is formerly known as Give Gear, Get Great. Now this community-led initiative was relaunched last May. So if you have any used or grown sports gear in good condition, please think about donating it to them so it can be recycled back into the community. The third image there, YCD actually presented at the public forum earlier regarding their youth safety project. And for the first time, the Youth and Cultural Development hosted a fresh pool party event in Hornby at the Matutiki Center. Held as the finale of their series of Youth Week events, the free event provided kai, drinks, live music, free haircuts, and braids, spot prices, and more. Our hardworking staff is working with the YCD to enable more events at Matutiki for Rangatahi, or the young people aged 15 to 24. The We Heart Arrington Park mulching and barbecue social event. So you can see there was a successful event held last May 25th with the community working together to add mulch to the pathway area near the Pico Crescent entrance to Harrington Park. Sausage sizzle was also provided for attendees to enjoy. Information session at Ngapunawai Sports Hub that was held last May 21st to present the Access Review Management Plan. It was very well attended, and the review, which has been completed, provided a snapshot in time of access management in and around the venue. And so that's all from us. Thank you.
Absolutely perfect timing. Well done, thank you.
Right.
Thank you for coming in. Okie doke. So, Paul, is Jackie here? I didn't see her. Just Paul. Okay. Coastal Burwood, Linwood, Comboard.
Kia ora koutou, Mayor
Morning,
and
mate.
councillors. Just as usual, go through some highlights from our board area. We had the Linwood Avenue Community Corner Trust ran a family kai nights, which I think Councillor Johansson and Joe Zervos, community board member, have attended. The trust is hosting a monthly family kai night on the fourth Tuesday of every month. Night is run as a restaurant type experience, providing opportunities for families who would usually not be able to afford to eat out. With space for 40 to 50 attend. Their first two sessions saw close to 40 people attend, despite being fully booked in advance. YCD, the fantastic YCD, ran a number of events across their Festival of Diversity, which aligns with the New Zealand Youth Week, despite poor weather across the week, cancelling many outdoor events planned. Their pool party at Te Poutoetoe and MoveX Bromley events proved again to be extremely popular with Rangatahi and Tamariki. And we also had the Edible and Sustainable Garden Awards, which the board held. We had a small ceremony at the boardroom, and we gave out 5 awards, and 4 of them also received special awards. And I somehow managed to be sick for that again. So Jackie Simons did a great job of running that. Finally, I just wanted to take opportunity to mention 3 things. Firstly, Portlink is still there. It's still keeping people awake. It's still waking people up. When developers do this kind of antisocial thing, the council should make a stink and should call them out. It's making a profit on the backs of our people and our environment. We also have to make sure that we put in place rules to stop this happening to other communities or to this community again, and amend our district plan regarding the industrial residential interface. I know that work has started on that, but I would like it to be expedited. Secondly, tsunami evacuation. We still do not have an operative completed tsunami evacuation plan for the city, and the council needs to put in place resources, which means people, to support our community to develop their own plans. The city also needs a tsunami response plan. We can't stop a tsunami, but we can be ready, and we can have a plan for what happens afterwards. As a city, we know too well the cost of not having a plan for what happens after a disaster hits. Let's not sit on our hands. Finally, the coastal hazards adaptation planning process is well overdue, in my view, to start with our communities. We have thousands of people living from South Shore all the way up to Spencerville along the coast, and we need to start planning with them for the future. the council, I would appreciate the council when it comes to making a decision on what is next, and hopefully that is soon, that you start with one of our communities and that we can build trust in that process. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. Yanni, we've got time for one question. Fire away, mate.
Oh yeah, thanks. And just to clarify, Joe Zervis, myself, and Celeste went to the shared kai in common thing at Te Poi Toitoi, which is different to the ones that Paul's referenced, but equally we're a successful board-supported event as well with the Ukrainian food night and the Nepalese food night. Just wanted to check if you're aware of the scrap metal yards being non-compliant with their consents and having to seek resource consents for a number of issues related to their
I'm aware of that. The one application in particular, yes.
Yeah. So would you support council also making some quicker progress on the district plan rules around things like scrap metal yards as well?
Oh, absolutely. Anything on the industrial residential fringe is obviously of interest to, particularly to us and to, I would think, Hornby as well.
And can you talk through what the benefit would be to council getting a plan change in place prior to these industrial users seeking new resource consents?
Well, if they're new resource consents for that and they don't have existing use rights, then it would mean that they couldn't start new activities effectively. So if they need resource consents, if there's a plan change in place that stops them from doing it, they can't do it.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, we've had these reports for about 2 years now.
We'll pass a resolution right now.
Well, to get like how do we get progress on this? Because the frustration is that while we haven't done anything as a city, these developers and these landowners continuously applying for new consents without us putting any rules to get greater protection in place.
Mary's making note of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we have Lynn and Penella. No? Yes? Banks Peninsula Community Board. Tyrone's favourite.
Thank you, Mayor. Kia ora koutou. Morning, everyone. I'm excited to share some updates from Banks Peninsula Te Pātaka o Rākai Hautu. First up, we accepted the Littleton Reserve Committee's Urumao Triennial Plan, which outlines their awesome aspirations for the reserve in the future. We also made a change to the Akaroa Recreation Ground Reserve classification to local purpose, just to tidy up the classification there. We then dished out some discretionary response funding to some amazing projects. The Akaroa Volunteer Fire Brigade got $5,000 for a thermal imaging drone, which we're all very keen to see how it works, but not in real time, just as a display. An invaluable asset in search and rescue. The Stoddard Cottage Trust received funding for a dehumidifier and gallery hanging system for their gallery and exhibition space. And the Te Mata Hapuku Birdlings Flat Community Centre got support to establish a community emergency response hub, which is very fitting considering what we're talking about today. Some amazing work happening with these groups to preserve and protect what is important in their communities. So it's great to see their work. We also approved a change of purpose for some better off funds. So the Akaroa Area School and Community Pool can now use the $10,000 for a solar pool cover instead of solar panels. We also heard some great public forums too. Project Littleton updated us on their Community Emergency Response Hub. Sustainability by Design shared their vision for locally designed and made recycling bins in Littleton, and Littleton Community Reserve Conservation Award team talked about the special botanical features of Whakaraupo Reserve. The Governor's Bay Community Association highlighted the need for better communication about roadworks and closures in Banks Peninsula. They especially highlighted the need for an extra layer of communication to the community when notifying of roadworks and road closures in Banks Peninsula due to the limited and lengthy detour routes available. I think this is especially important because it could be a 50-minute detour, which is quite a detour. We also received a letter from the Akaroa Bays Forum about their major concerns for the Akaroa Wastewater Project. And as an example of the phrase teamwork makes the dream work is the completion of phase 1 of the Little River Shared Pathway. The board supported a community initiative for a shared use pathway between Little River and Cooptown, which is now being completed by NZTA Waka Kotahi. Waka Kotahi are now finding funding for stage 2 of the project, which will go from Church Road to Western Valley Road, basically from the main road to the school, which is fantastic for improved safety and enjoyment of this path. It's much appreciated by the community. So looking forward to using that much. And finally, our Banks Peninsula facilities audit. As a board, we recognise that community connection is a pillar of well-being and reduces feelings of isolation. Therefore, having somewhere to get together is especially important to these remote communities. We recently received the results of an audit that the board commissioned of our community facilities. This is important and will help us to identify how best to support, protect, and in many cases fix these precious gathering places for our communities now and into the future. That's all for now. Any questions?
Councillor Kewen, please.
The drone, that's fire brigade. Do you know, and if it's thermal imaging, it can find people
That's my understanding.
as well as
Yeah.
obviously heat in the ground?
Yeah.
And does it work offshore? And if so, what's its range?
I don't know the range. We'd have to wait to see and find out. But yeah, really excited to see how that actually goes. So we could
Because
potentially
if someone's
report
tipped out of a boat and sitting in the water, it'd be great if it can find them.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. Yep, there'll be a question
If
we'll
you-
ask.
Yeah, if you and let us know next month. That'd be
Yeah,
cool. Thank
okay.
you.
Oh, thank you
Great,
very
thank
much. Okay, a 40-second.
Okay, thanks, Lynn. Just on the conversation, like you talked about a lot of the work that the different communities are doing about, building community resilience, and then you mentioned the concerns around that Governor's Bay in particular had raised around, roadworks and coordinating there. So there's it seems that there's kind of an intersect between, because where there's one road in, one road out for a lot of these communities, there's kind of an intersect between kind of evacuation potential and roadworks. Is that I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but
No,
like,
it's an interesting thing to think about. I think that there's some crossover there.
yeah. So is that an active conversation, do you think, or probably one that could be had?
Yes, we definitely could have that conversation
yeah.
because I think it's
Not putting you on the spot, Lynn, don't
no,
worry. I'm just
yeah,
sort of just...
I agree. That's a good thing to be thinking about. If it's difficult to get out during roadworks, what's it going to be like during a natural disaster? So I see there's definitely crossover there. Yeah,
Thank you very much for coming in.
great.
Good
Thank
to see you again.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so we've got Jason hiding up the back there, please. Oh, yeah, cool. Oh, yep. Bridget. Fendleton, Waimari, Harewood combo. And if you're not going to say it, I'm going to say it. So I think it's excellent that you've used the initiative and used some of your funding money to put towards Runner Park so they can get their business case done. $50,000, I believe. So
That's correct.
thank you very much for that. It's good to get that underway. So thank you.
All right, so to kick off, decisions made under delegations this month, some new lane name changes, native planting plan along the Island Stream and Avonhead Park, some no stropping restrictions, relocation of some bus stops and better off fund applications. Again, so the Wildlife Veterinary Trust, St Mark's Presbyterian Church, some funding for a community barbecue at Bishopdale Park, Burnside West Christchurch University Cricket Club, some picnic tables at Belfast Community Pool, and obviously, as mentioned, the Arana Park Operations Review. Also, we had 2 applications to the Board's Discretionary Response Fund, some YDF funding that was approved as well, and some public forums. So we had Louise and Kevin Phillips and a full gallery of about 30 people from Brindle Road, some of the residents from there, come and spoke to the board regarding the condition of the street. Charlotte Gavin from the Belfast Residents Association came and talked to us about the re-establishment of that and some of the work they're doing there around some anti-social behaviour, which has been really positive, and a deputation from Judith Watson's regarding the Crofton Road lane name change.
So just speaking about Bryn Road, our boardroom at Fendleton was absolutely packed with our last board meeting of over 30 passionate residents from Bryn Road attended to express their concerns and deep frustrations over the condition of their street. So they presented at the board with a petition signed by 96 residents of Bryn Road requesting urgent action to be undertaken to address the dangerous condition of the road, which you can clearly see in those photos above. So the board formally received the petition and have forwarded this on to council staff, and we just want to reiterate the boardroom was completely packed and these residents are really frustrated. So the deep dish gutters and state of the footpaths are causing health and safety issues for residents. The steepness of the gutters makes it difficult to get out of the car and creates accessibility issues for people, which you can clearly see in one of those photos, with wheelchairs and those that have mobility issues, of course. It also results in residents and their visitors having to park far away from the curb, and this creates a road hazard as cars are unable to pass each other due to parked cars on either side. The road was last fully upgraded in 1974 and has been previously due for upgrading but was pushed back following the earthquakes. So residents say they have been communicating with council staff since 2002 but have had no success. So our board and residents see the need for a full street and curb and channel upgrade as soon as possible. Isn't it? Okay. And Juniper Reserve community engagement. So as part of the community engagement for the tree planting plan at Juniper Reserve and Burnside, Council Arborist Toby Chapman and Engagement Advisor Sam Smith and Community Development Advisor Karen Bogue attended a site visit with pupils from Broadvale School. The school is adjacent to Juniper Reserve and the students are keen to work alongside the council to make the reserve a more welcoming place. The student reports from the school have written an article about the project, which can be found on our board's webpage, and the students have also recently interviewed Toby about the project, so a pretty happy story to share.
If you have some spare time on the 20th of July, please pop down to the Inglefield Reserve in Northwood for a community planting day from 10 to 1. As part of the Summer in the Sticks program, the Inglefield Reserve community have been selected to receive free trees to plant in their backyards. This will be dropped on the doorsteps on the 15th of July 2024. If residents don't want to plant their trees in their backyard, they're invited to take it to the reserve and plant them at the planting day. The Sticks Living Laboratory Trust are coordinating the planting day and are looking to infill 2 areas that already have plants, one near the Flying Fox and the other section nearer to the open green space. This is a great initiative being delivered by the Sticks Living Laboratory Trust in partnership with Trees for Canterbury. Next up is the Youth Achievement event. A couple of weeks ago, our board hosted a function to celebrate the achievements of young people who receive funding through our board's 23-24 YDF fund. All of our recipients were invited to the event along with their parents and caregivers, and some attended with their coaches and teachers. 12 young people gave a PowerPoint presentation on the event or activity they were provided funding for. These range from attendance at a Scout Jamboree, Spirit of Adventure Voyage, Irish dancing competition in Glasgow, and a ballet dancing competition in New York. They all spoke wonderfully, and it highlighted the amazing talents of our local young people. It was great that Mayor Phil Major was able to attend and speak to the young people and their families as well, acknowledging their achievements.
Wonderful. Everyone is bang on time today. So that, and it was at the Rusty Golf Club. It was a fantastic night, and good to see so many young people with spark in their eyes, and and shooting for the stars. So it was wonderful. Thank you. Okie doke. So now, certainly not last but not least, is Emma, and is.
No, apologies from Simon today. He couldn't make it.
You're not Simon.
So I've got Emma with me. Kia ora koutou, thank you for the opportunity to come along and present today. We have a video to show you as part of our presentation, so I'm going to keep the rest of it very brief. I'll hopefully get something up on the screen. We held our June meeting at the Multicultural Recreation and Community Centre, where we received the reports that you will see there. I'll touch on the Shirley Community Reserve decision in a minute, and you will have our request for an alcohol ban in Edgware Village come before you sometime soon. We approved a number of DRF applications from across the board area, as well as a couple of Youth Development Fund applications. We had a good turnout for our public forum, but there's one in particular I'd just like to bring to your attention. We had the owners of the florist at the Maraho end of Innes Road come to highlight the hugely negative impacts the roadworks along Innes Road are having on theirs and the neighbouring businesses. Since they came to us, staff and contractors have undertaken to add more signage, get some fences moved as soon as possible, and reinstate some closer parking. However, our board would like to see these things done as a matter of course for businesses in this situation, not just as a reaction to a request through our community board. It was great at our last meeting to give the residents of Shirley some certainty over the future of the Shirley Community Reserve. I'm sure a number of you know the history behind this site, with the original centre being demolished in 2012. And it is a priority in our community board plan to determine and realise the community's vision for the reserve. We're now one step closer to this with our decision to initiate the process to design an on-budget building on the reserve, enabling its mixed indoor and outdoor use. The Neighbourhood Trust held their 25th AGM in May, which a number of us attended. It was great to hear about the continued success of the Trust and the way they are adapting and continuing to meet the needs of the local community. And next up we have a couple of pictures from some plantings at Beverley Park with Step Ahead Trust, and some of the continued great work our parks team are doing with the Phillipstown Hub and Salisbury Street Foundation at Essex Reserve. And then finally, check out this video highlighting the amazing mahi of the Shirley Village project.
If I could say anything to the people in the Shirley, it would be, you're awesome. You are a shining example of what can be achieved when residents come together around a shared vision and really believe that they can make change happen. It's because residents have decided they want to make something happen in their community and make it a better place for them and their whānau for the future. The Shirley Village project is a place-based, prevention-focused, community-led development project, and we do that in collaboration with a lot of other organisations and in a treaty-based way. It's what's important to residents in the community. So we started by doing a community survey and asking residents, what is important to you? What would you like to have happening in Shirley to make it an awesome place for you and your family to thrive? We talk about a lot of big social issues. It can be family violence, it can be crime, it can be kids not going to school. We look at it and say that that's that family's problem, that's that organisation's problem, that's that agency's problem, that's that school's problem. It is a community problem. And yes, our schools and agencies and families have to do their part, but we as a community as a whole need to realise that we're part of this as well, and we need to step up and do our part to support them and to support making that change happen. I think the key to going forward in the future is that willingness to keep the relationships going, the willingness to actually get down and get our hands dirty and actually just do the practical stuff that needs to be done. We need to do this together. Shirley community as a whole should be standing very proud of what is happening in this community. It is unique. It is unique in Christchurch. It is unique across this country. This is the only community in Christchurch that is part of the Department of Internal Affairs Community Development Partnership Program. One of only 20 in the country. That's pretty amazing to be recognised for what is being achieved and the approaches that are being done here. Just the amount that we are seeing residents stepping forward and owning their space in this community and what they can do to make it an awesome place.
Thank you.
That's a wonderful video, and it brought it to your presentation to an end. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Okay, thank you to all our community boards. I will now ask for a mover, who is me, and Councillor Fields, who is the seconder, to receive the monthly reports. All those in favour? All those against? Thank you. Carried. Right, we are... Quarter to 11? 11, we'll have a cup of tea. Okay? Yeah. All right? You already got one, so it won't matter. 11.